This is number 16 from the 2013 Mock Math Counts Sprint Round number 1. And this is a very simple problem in some ways, but there's a little trick at the end that allows you to get to your answer. And so the answer is you start by looking at the surface area of a right circular cone. And so the surface area of a right circular cone is the base, pi r squared, plus the lateral part. And if you don't know this formula, you need to go learn it, but it's pi RL, where L represents what we call the slant height of this right cone, circular cone. And so that's our formula for the surface area. And then it says that it's numerically equal to the volume. Well, the volume is just 1/3 the base times the altitude, or the height. We'll call it h. Now, because pi is a constant and r we know has to be positive, or this would be a degenerate figure, you can go through and cancel some stuff out. For instance, we can cancel a pi out of everything, and then we can cancel an r, so we can change those to just r instead of r squared, and then cancel the r out of the second term of the left side. So that leaves us with r plus L equals 1/3 RH. This is where it gets tricky. That part, pretty simple, just applying the formulas. Most of you might have got to this part in this problem. And then you might have tried to solve for h, which is a decent idea. But the problem with solving for h is you then have to learn things about r and L. What's a better thing to do is actually solve for L. And when you solve for L, you end up with this, where you can factor the r out, and you get 1/3 h minus 1. Now it becomes very obvious, because r is positive and L is positive, that 1/3 h minus 1 has to be positive, which means 1/3 h has to be greater than 1. And so if 1/3 h is greater than 1, then h can't be 3, because if h is equal to 3, then 1 minus 1 is 0. So that means h equals 4. And this was the accepted answer, but it actually turns out to not even be the correct answer. And so this is a change that has been made, and that is because even though h, it makes sense that h is 4, if you plug it back in, that means that L is going to equal, well, 4 times 1/3 is 4/3, 4/3 minus 1 is 1/3, 1/3 of r. But that's not possible, because L is the right triangle, or the hypotenuse of a right triangle that includes r. So L can't be less than r, which is what 1/3 r means. So we actually have to make h not equal to 7, or 4, it's actually 7, because that will give us then L equals 4/3 r, which is the first actual possible thing that satisfies all three components, the L, the r, and the h, as being okay or legal.